let's take a look at the number 2. 2. Let's see. Let me pull it up. It's somewhere. Oh, there we go. The number 2. All right. Okay. Oh, PJ says, make sure you post this one. I have 3 daughters that are teachers. I will. After we're done with this 3 at 3 segment, I will go up on our Facebook page and post it, PJ, because that is really, really sweet. Suzanne says, that made me tear up. I know, pretty amazing. All righty. So let's talk about theme number 2. What I thought I would do today, as I was kind of contemplating something new to teach, I got thinking about some of my quilts that I've done in the past and how I fold them up and I put them, on a shelf or whatever. We have a cabinet in our home, and I have a bunch of quilts that are in there, and they're just stacked one on top of the other. And I was kind of rearranging some things in our home this last weekend. That's what got me thinking about this. And I pulled out those quilts, and sadly, some of them that I didn't take extra time have fold marks that are really going to be very difficult to get out. Okay, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you ever folded up a quilt, stored it, put it away, and then when it comes out, when you unfold it, you go, oh, darn it, I've got these crease lines on my quilts. It's very common. It happens a lot, right? So today I thought what I would do is share with you there's actually a better way to fold our quilts and to put them in storage. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. All right. So in order to do that, I am going to ask for the assistance of my dear husband, Mike, who's going to hold the camera for me as I come around to another room and where I have a nice big flat table. Okay. So I'm going to grab this quilt and everyone say, hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, you're not letting me.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm in charge now.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it. There we go. There we go. See, there he is. Okay. All right. Let's head in there, Mike.
All right.
He's such a stinker. Okay. All right. So here we have this darling quilt. Isn't this cute? All it is pinwheels, my friends. That's it. Just one big quilt of pinwheels, which is so fun. All right, so what I'm going to do, some people may say fold it where the top is on the inside, and some may do it on the outside. I actually prefer to have the top of it towards the inside because I want to prevent it from getting dirty. So that's my personal preference. So what I'm going to do, come over here, Mike. We're going to put it on the table. Let's see. Let me pull this out. Okay, so I'm going to spread it out. And what you see that I have here is a bunch of tissue paper, okay? And this is acid-free tissue paper. And it is white. You'll notice it's white. And that's really important because you don't want to just use any tissue paper, and you don't want it to be colored because of the dyes, okay? So definitely get white tissue paper, acid-free. And this is the difference. This is what can really make a difference for you when it comes to folding up your quilts, okay? So I've got this ready to go. I've crunched it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take one of the corners and fold it in towards the center. It's almost like as if I'm folding this quilt on the bias, okay? And then I'm going to go from the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. And let me get this, okay, situated. Now you could just do it just like this, okay? But the better thing to do is actually to take this tissue paper and just kind of scrunch it up. I'm going to fold that back a little bit. And I'm going to put it in where the fold is, okay? This just kind of keeps it resting on top so that it's right, not on top of each other. And I'll do the same thing over here. Let's pull that down a little bit, Mike. Okay, we're gonna come over here. There we go. So again, it's folded up nicely. All right, now again, oh, let me tell you another thing. This is if you're like going to store it for a long time. I wouldn't normally do this if I were just folding it up real quickly and I'm always getting it in and out. Okay, this is if I'm going to store it for a long time. So just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. Okay, now I'll go from this side and bring it in. Put a few things of tissue paper in that fold. Just a couple. And finally, from the other side. So let me grab these and bring it over this way. Okay, that's it, folks. So there we go. Now I'll do one more fold. And it's a little scrunchy in there, but that's good. Let me grab that. There we go. In the fold. Whew, and there we go. Ta-da! And that is my folded quilt. Now, how do I store it? You want to store it in like a muslin sack. Let's bring this up a little bit. You want to store it in a muslin sack that you can make, just to grab some muslin and sew together a sack, really easy. Or a pillowcase, even an old pillowcase. That's how you would store it. You actually want to prevent it. Thanks, Mike. There we go. I'm gonna put him on it again. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. He's such a dork. There we go.
That's why you have me.
Yeah. That's why I love you. Okay. All right. So going back to my desk now. So, if we store them in containers, then it just subjects itself, those quilts, to mildew, to moths, to, all sorts of things like that. So it's better to actually store them in pillowcases or, like a muslin sack. Okay, Kathleen asked, could you use a pool noodle? Yes, you could, and I've seen where people have used pool noodles, but I don't know, that's just a lot of pool noodles, I think, to have to get. So certainly I've seen where people do that, but for me, the tissue paper method works great. But you could also, I've seen where people roll it on pool noodles, and that works great too. So anyway, yeah, so that's just a thought. So that's kind of just a good way to store your quilts so that you prevent it from having the creases that sometimes happen. Okay, so yeah, Christy, you know what, actually that's a really good point. I hadn't even thought of that. She said, are pool noodles acid free? Probably not, is my guess. So probably, again, if it was a quilt that was going to be an heirloom, like an heirloom quilt, which really, like most of our quilts should be, heirloom is whatever you want to make it, right? Who says an heirloom has to be a certain style? So my philosophy is, if you've made a quilt and you took the time to make a quilt, and the hours and the love and all of that was put into that quilt, my friends, it is now an heirloom, and it should be kept for years and years. That's my philosophy. But it should also be used. That's another philosophy of mine, is our quilts are meant to be used. So, but truly, if it was like an heirloom quilt, then I would go the route of making sure that everything was acid free and that it was going to be stored for a long time, and I would store it in a pillowcase, something like that. All right. All right. Kenzie says, Kris, you need to scroll up to Beth's comment. Uh-oh. What did Beth say? Let's see. I'm scrolling. That's clever, Beth. Mike, come over here. This one's for you. That is so clever, Beth. You crack me up. Okay, come over here.
I don't want to come over there.
You've gotta look at this. Okay. She says, "Hey, Mike, how's the retreat center coming? My clothes are getting fold marks being in the suitcase waiting for a fun retreat."
Sweet. I said, my wife just needs to put out there like a GoFundMe for retreat center, but she won't do it.
No. No. That was good, Beth. I like that a lot. I might. I think Mike says you need some tissue paper. I think I'm going to print that one, Beth, and put it right. Because I'm putting it out to the universe that this is going to happen one day, right? Yes, Sable, it looks like an envelope. Yes, very much so. Oh, let's see. Let me scroll through. All right, that was funny. Sable says she's going to be trying this with her Trim a Tall Tree quilt after Christmas. Yeah, yeah, and especially like a Christmas quilt, for example, where you're only using it, yearly, like once a year. Yeah, it's really disappointing when you are so excited to get it out and it's got these folds. Oh, frustrating. Sherry says Mike thinks we forgot. Oh no, we don't forget, do we, ladies? Oh, too funny. Jennifer has a good question. Kris, does the pillowcase need to be muslin? No. I don't think so. Muslin's just a cheap and easy way to do that. Obviously, a pillowcase is made with fabric, and that's kind of the reason why I like to store those quilts that are going to be in for a long time with fabric rather than a container. Okay. Alrighty. Any other questions? Did you learn something new? I hope you learned something new. Okay, you guys. My dad, who is the king of dad jokes. In fact, one of the reasons that I fell in love with Mike is because Mike is has a sense of humor just like my dad. And I see him on here and I'm pulling his comment over just so you all can see. Okay, Dennis Shelley. Yes, my maiden name is Shelley. That paper looks like the kind the donut shop uses to hand me a chocolate eclair. Oh, Dad. The tissue paper is what he's talking about. Yeah. There you go. Dad joke number 407. Glad to see you here, Dad. All right. Oh, too funny. Is the acid paper going to be on deal of the day? No, we don't sell acid-free paper. Nope. That's something you'd have to, purchase online or, somewhere nearby. So. Teresa says we could buy blocks for a retreat center. There you go. Oh, like bricks and stuff, and everyone puts their name on it. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh my goodness. One day, my friends, it'll happen. All right. Yes. Okay. Good point, Nancy. Oh, you guys are so funny. I love you. Okay. Nancy said, I lay all mine on my guest room bed. It's starting to look like The Princess and the Pea. Excellent idea, Nancy. I have seen the same. I personally, in our home, we don't have a guest room. Get those kids out of there, right? Boom, boom, let's get them out. No, I'm just kidding. And one of these days I will have a guest room. But yes, what a great idea is to actually, and then you don't even have to worry about folding. You just stack your quilts one on top of the other, and you just put them, right on top of each other to store them. And I love that idea. That's actually a really, really good idea, Nancy. Okay. Oh, you guys are the best. Oh, I know. It's so true, Christy. She said, that's so sweet of your parents to tune in. They tell me that it's the only way they can see me. Well, and so mom lives in here in Utah, so she's not too far away. But loves the community that is here, and it has been so fun for her to get to see all of you um, here with 3 at 3. And then dad lives in Clovis, California. And so he, unfortunately, sadly, with COVID and everything, we have not been able to go see him or him come see us. So it's been kind of hard. So it's been a long time. And so this is his chance of seeing me. And then he'll usually give me a call later and let me know what he thought of it. So it's always fun. So yeah, thanks. I have great parents, amazing parents. All righty. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry shares vinegar and water, iron, and creases come out. I'm gonna have to try that because, like I said, there are a few quilts that I have that have those creases, and I have tried ironing them, pressing them, but haven't had much luck. So, next time I am gonna try the vinegar and water. That's a great idea. Okay, Tony. You could have a friend and fold event along with a friend or fork event. Some of you have been giving me a bad time about last Friday when Kim and I were talking about fork and friends. That was great in the car. Oh my goodness gracious. Too funny. I love it. Carmen says, Clovis, I have a dear friend who lives there. Clovis is a beautiful area. Beautiful. Okay. Interesting. Teresa says cotton batting makes the creases worse. Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. So, but that would seem to make sense. Cotton, 100% cotton, yeah, tends to get more wrinkles and those kinds of things. So yeah. Kathleen says vinegar is very acidic. Wouldn't that damage a quilt in storage? You know, now we're getting into questions I don't know the answer to. So it would definitely be something you would have to consider or think about. But again, if you were trying to preserve something for the long haul, for years and years to come, my best bet would be do the acid-free tissue paper method and go from there. Okay? All right. Yeah. No, Barb, my dad has no control out of what comes out of my mouth. She said, so if your dad grades your presentation, does that mean we need to behave? I mean, that would be tough. Or, oh, that you guys need to behave. I'm sure sometimes he's just shaking his head at me, right? Like, oh my goodness, Kris. But, but it sure is fun to see him on here. Trying to pretend that he knows something about quilting, right, Dad? All right. Okay, so yeah, it's something that I don't have all the answers when it comes to trying to preserve something for a long time. These are just the things that I have learned over the years and what has worked for me. And then you would definitely, if you are really, really, really concerned about something like that, I would definitely ask more of an expert in that field, in the field of keeping things, of storing stuff. What would you call that? Storing stuff. Something like that. Anyway. Alrighty. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, you're right, Sue. There are acid-free boxes that you could put in your quilts as well. And again, for some reason, I would still put it in a pillowcase. I don't know. For some reason, for me, the pillowcase just makes me feel like it's being protected on the outside so it doesn't get dirty. I don't know. Personal thoughts. Storing heirlooms. That's the word I'm thinking of. Preservation. Yes, historical preservation. You guys got it. You guys have it. Yep, a dry cleaner could probably be a good resource as well. So, good deal.